Hello and welcome. My name's Simon of Smith Customs. Today I'm going to show you how to create a basic form for your silicone molds. Now, let's start off with our equipment list. What we're going to need: plastic card. I've pre-cut it, so you can buy that at any hobby store. It's relatively cheap, thin. I try and go with the thicker stuff, maybe about 1 mil thick. Just give that extra sort of strength. Pen, obviously, to mark everything out with, and scissors. These are just manicure scissors that I've gotten from a supermarket. They're good because they're light, they're nimble, and they're good at cutting around small objects. So what I've done with the plastic card is I've planned out my job, what I'm going to actually do. So let's start with our item first. The other thing I forgot to mention, hot glue gun. Switched on and warming up the glue stick inside. So glue sticks go in there, just get pushed into this chamber, so you can see how many are left over. The chamber itself heats up here after a couple of minutes, and when you squeeze the trigger, it pushes the solid glue sticks in, melts them here with this element, and then the glue pours out here. Okay, so I want to be careful around here. You're not going to burn yourself straight away, but it's going to be uncomfortable. So you want to keep your hands away from there. And okay, right, so where were we? Force pike, yep. So this is a force pike from Star Wars. I've had to bend it into shape straight out of the packaging, unfortunately, with a hairdryer. But now that it's more or less the shape that I want it, I can make a copy of it. So we start with our object and we think about how we're going to actually mold this. The best way to mold is to cause as least amount of disruption to the item as possible. So put our mold on there. Going to take a bit of cutting, bit of sawing, bit of filing to get it done right. We put it on there, same deal, probably even worse. But if we put it on the buttstock, chances are the hand of the actual action figure will cover up the mold lines and cover up our, where we've put it into the mold. So the way we get it to attach to the mold is with a bit of blue tack, like this, and we just put it on the buttstock there. Now, you can cast this several different ways, depending on your preferences. You can angle this bad boy down like that, and cast it like that. And cast the silicone on there. Problem with that, of course, you're going to have it reasonably high up, and it's going to sag. So the solution: use gravity to help you. Just get this blue tack into like a tooth shape, and you're going to pop it in there like that. Not yet though, because we're going to put our forms together. So let's just leave that to the side. Now, the way I've marked this out, so this grid on here is 1 centimetre by 1 centimetre. So I've got the force pike, I should say, measured it out. So it looks like it's going to need about 8 centimetres. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so there's our form. It's going to be a reasonable size. So what we're going to do is, basically, we've planned it out. We're going to plan out, the least or the most efficient amount of silicone that we're going to put in there. Because silicone is expensive at around $70, $80 Australian, 50, 60 US. So, we've got our form here. It's ready to go. Now, some have like a grid pattern, like a striated pattern on the back. I don't need that. So, you definitely don't want that for silicone, because the silicone will cling to it and it'll be more difficult to remove. So you want to put the flat sides on the inside. Now, let's get our glue gun, which should be warmed up, and get to work on this. So pop this stand down. That stand, by the way, is good for collecting any excess glue that you may have. It's a well-designed gun. So, excuse me, let's get to work. So I'm just squeezing on there, just gently. And now this glue takes about 10-15 seconds to start from the top and let it work its way down. Beautiful. All right. Now we've got our first side. I'm going to work quickly because it'll cool off and set. So the way I do it is I go inwards and I push out. So there's least amount of hot glue inside the actual form. Now the glue should be cool enough for you to just sort of do that with it. Don't worry, it's not going to really, it comes off your fingers pretty quickly. And, you know, just to smooth it out a bit. Right. Can you reuse it? Yeah, you can. Okay. Now you notice that there's a bit of our mould, excuse me, that's sticking out just there. So we can work with that. Next part, we're going to pop like that on there. Alright, so you might even want to put it like that, just so it gives it a bit more stability, so it's kind of like bricks on a wall. You know, they're not sort of placed like that, they're placed like that. So if you pop that there rather than there, it'll actually make it a little bit more stable. So let's get our glue. And here we go. Probably just along there. Now you can just do one side of this initially, because by the time you get to the longer side, the glue will probably cool off and try and set. Now, usually with this glue, less is best because, you know, it will affect the mould. So, where are we? There, like that. Bang, there we go. Maybe not. Okay, just let it set. Beautiful. Right, let's give it a few moments. Actually, we're going to have it like that. Yep. I don't think I've got quite enough on there. That's okay. Can we colour it around? Yeah, with a bit of difficulty. And no, it's starting to set. Okay. Now, we've almost got one corner done. Don't worry about this excess glue. We can rip it off, as you can see. And let's pop that on there just to reinforce it a little bit. Right, there we go. Spread it around a little bit. Perfect. Now let's do this side. And it's sticking to the gun. Okay. Just give it a few moments. Sometimes you wish you had a third hand. Now, let's try this again. Let's keep going. Just need enough glue on there. There we go. Like that. And what have I done here? Put that internally. Never mind. Never mind. I'm guessing that side will eventually pop off at some stage anyway. Now, there we go. Should be enough glue. Now, next part. Next part is going to be down on here like that. So it's just going to pop there. So let's start with this bit. And out like that. Beautiful. Now, shove this there. Now, make sure it's flush with the corner. And just let it sit for a little while. That's it. this. Beautiful. Okay. Now down the side. Oops. Had to keep that on a little bit firmer. But not too firm because it will slide off. Now. And a bit more glue. Okay, put that down. Now let's maneuver it into shape. Oops, there we go. Now, the good thing about this glue is it comes just pulls straight off your fingers after it sets. Now, it's not like super glue or anything like that. And it's quite sturdy, but flexible at the same time, so it's actually pretty good. So, how's that coming along? Maybe just give it a bit of a... Yep, there we go, these bits that have come off, which is fine. Now, how are we doing? Oh, not too bad. Let's have a look at the inside. Yep, perfect. Okay. So let's put the final panel on this bad boy. Now, form making, you know, it doesn't have to be super exact. It doesn't have to be super science. Just so long as you, yeah, there we go. Just so long as the main thing is it's relatively watertight, because your silicone is going to flow out otherwise. Come on. I thought I'd do at least one part of it. Stop it from... There it goes. Right. I'm just going to do a little bit, so we just have enough in there to hopefully keep it in place. And then I'll do the rest. Now, if parts like this bend in, that's kind of okay, because you want a little bit of leeway. You want a bit of bend when you pull your form. You pull your mold out of your form. You pull the mold out. Yeah, you want a bit of flex. You want a bit of give. Now, there we go. Let's finish off the rest. And the great thing about this glue as well is it sets pretty quickly. So you can finish a form off in relatively little time. It's pretty good. That's one side. Let's smooth it out. It's hot, but I've not gotten any blisters or anything like that from it. Just got to be careful with this stuff. Okay, now, can we reuse it? Yeah, probably. Do we want to? Probably not. Now, let's keep going. We have this section here to finish off. Alright, let's do it. Glue is starting to run out, despite there being a glue stick in there at the end. What a pain. Now you don't want to leave the form unfinished like this, because your silicone will pour out of it, and like I said, silicone, not cheap. That's more or less okay. Got a slight hole in there, but if I put this together, the gap probably won't be too prominent. that's it, we're out of glue, but relatively tight. What I can do is, if I'm really not happy with it, is I can get a bit of blue tack and I just slide across there. And you might get that cracks and things like that in the mould. So yeah, just fill them in with blue tack. Now, next thing, oh, I forgot to mention, what you also need is a pair of tweezers. Because you want to, it's going to be kind of difficult to put this bad boy in there. So you're going to have to put it further down, and the further your grip point away from it, the more chance you got of bending. So that's it there. So in we go. That's going to be more difficult, so maybe just stick that on there. Just go right in there, right in the center. And how do we go? Not too bad. Okay, let's clear away some of this glue. Beautiful. Alright. And that's it. Our force pike is in its mould, just about perfectly. Now, how much silicone are you going to need? Well, 3 centimeters by 3 centimeters by 8 centimeters. So 3 threads, 9 times 8, which is 24. No, no, 3 by 3, 9, 9 eighths, 72. You're going to need 72 cubic centimeters in there of silicone. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and that's our completed form. Thank you.